What's up, guys? John here. Fast food prices are going to go to $50 for a single person coming 2025.
Once upon a time, a few dollars could purchase a quick meal at a fast food restaurant.
Hamburger and french fries and a Coca-Cola. That'd be 35 cents, please.
But these days, grabbing a burger and fries takes a much bigger bite out of your wallet.
We're going to gradually see these prices increase every single month. It might sound hard to believe, but what if I were to tell you I have verifiable proof that this is, in fact, what's coming? For example, look at this order. Five Guys, a bacon cheeseburger with a little fry and a regular soda came out to $20.57 after tax, almost $22, $21.91.
Five Guys is not alone. The price of eating at restaurants rising higher than the rate of inflation in the last 12 months.
That's absolutely insane. If you want a small Coke at McDonald's, $3.60 for a small Coke. A hash brown at McDonald's, $6 now. Like it's absolutely unbelievable. I saw this video, 6.7 million views. Somebody talking about, what's happening right now on fast food. I'm going to show you in a second. But when you look at these laws that are now already in place, that are set to hit, it's going to change everything that you think about fast food, everything that you think about food in general, and where food prices are actually heading in America. I'm going to break it down. I'm going to give you the facts and show you exactly what's going on to help you and position you for what I believe is going to be a more expensive and uncertain future. Please hit the like button. Hit the like button. YouTube will share the content, educate more people about what's going on in the U.S. economy. And if you'd like to fix your credit, we would love to help you at my company, GreatCreditFast.com. That's GreatCreditFast.com. If you have late payments, medical bills, charge-offs, foreclosures, bankruptcies, repossessions, or any negative item in your credit report, go to GreatCreditFast.com. Click the link in the description just below. Schedule a free strategy session for tomorrow, for Friday. Take a look at this.
Who made these prices? It's overnight stuff with these fast food places. One night it's like, yeah, dude, everything's $1. Let's roll here, dude. I love fast food. You can live on this. This is the blue collar food. Then bam, overnight it's like, hey, guess what? Your Arby's is $53. I'm never paying $53 for fast food. One trip at McDonald's right now, one single trip to McDonald's, $30. $30? $30? That's pizza money. You're not pizza.
That's exactly what's happening right now. It's absolutely what's happening. Remember, I don't know if a lot of people remember this, but many years ago, you go to a fast food restaurant, you go through a drive-through, and you could do it and break a $5 bill. Right? In 1987, look at this.
Said you could get 2 of these burgers, not for $3 or $5, but for just $1.
2 burgers for $1, 1987. Now it's $30 for a drive-through combo meal. But when you start to connect the dots on what's happening now, McDonald's reported a 14% higher revenue, right? $6.69 billion. It's net income, which included $26 million charged for a restructuring announced last spring, jumped 17% to $2.3 billion. Chicago-based company earned $3.70 per share in the third quarter. Now here's how these prices are going to really start to ramp up, and then the laws are going to, further solidify these further price increases. So you've heard about what's happened in Texas with all the devastation that's unfolded there. It's only 15% as of now contained, 15%. And they say that, you look at this, it's 1 million acres. 1 million acres. And of this, they report that, look at this, it's home to 11 million livestock, 85% of them live in that area. 85% of the livestock. Where do you think McDonald's and a lot of these, fast food chains are getting their food, right? They're getting them predominantly here in America. Right? Of course, they're not going to feed us top-of-the-line beef or top-of-the-line meat, but they're getting a lot of this. And when you see that 85% of that, basically production, is coming from this one area, how is that not going to increase prices in a radical way across the country? It's going to. 85% of them in the Panhandle, the country's most prominent region for beef production. The mass death probably won't affect prices for beef around the nation, right? Considering that 85% of that is in that general area, right? With over 1 million acres burned. Of course it's going to. Of course it's going to. Now, here's what I found from 2018 and how this connects so perfectly. Medium.com. In 15 years from now, meat from animals will become illegal. Now that might sound really extreme, really far-fetched, not going to happen, no way. But before you start to look into this, I'm going to show you in a second also. What they say, though, is that it's going to be Impossible Foods is going to be the better alternative. This is 6-year-old information, Impossible Foods, right? Well, when you look at, Bill, he's saying that eventually this is going to be really, really good, and it's going to be better for all of us, right? When you look at this, it's shocking. So in 15 years, or perhaps much less, eating meat will become, legal and feeling alien to most people. So when you think about this, that would be, basically early 2030s, right? So, well, this may sound like a hyperbole to some. The trend is obvious to anyone who would care to take a deeper look. And to use an analogous example, we could examine the use of cigarettes in my own native country, Norway. In 2004, a minister of health, an otherwise unlikable fellow, imposed law to forbid smoking in restaurants and bars and later in public places. This piece of legislation was first received with a sense of impending doom. Everyone thought it was crazy. Many believed that it would be the end of society as we know it. For real, they did. 14 years on, smoking has become universally frowned upon in Norway. Hardly anyone I know smokes. If you would come to my home and try to light up a cigarette, I would tell you to leave and come back with some manners and some common sense. Today, many of us still suffer from this idea that our bodies need to feed on meat because this is the only way to get protein we need. This is, of course, meat industry's propaganda nonsense that anyone who cared to examine the facts would quickly unveil as blatant lies. And I'll provide you with some useful starting point at the end of this text. So you look at this. They're saying that, that it's wrong to eat meat. Now, when you look at what's happening in California, for example, January 4th, 2024, came out about a month and a half ago, 2 months ago, despite significant opposition from both California itself and indeed the rest of the U.S., the bill means the sale of some meat products proposed via extreme confinement will be banned, right? Think about this, moving in this direction, right? And then you look at what's happening in New York. Mayor Adams commits to reducing plant-based emissions, right? And next 6 years. This came out last year. And New York City Mayor Eric Adams and Chief Climate Officer and New York City Department of Environmental Protection announced today that they released the first integrated greenhouse gas inventory, which incorporates emissions from production and consumption of food. Those emissions represent 20% of New York's overall emissions, the third largest source, buildings behind buildings, 35%, and transportation, 21%. The inventory developed by Mayor's Office of Climate and Environmental Justice includes emissions involved in the production of goods, services, and New Yorkers consume, whether production is in New York. Now they have something called eluding the world with combating climate because we're using every option on the menu right now. And that includes changing our menus too, Mayor Adams said. This new emissions report shows us that plant-based food isn't just good for the physical and mental health, but good for the planet as well. We've made great strides in reducing food emissions by creating plant-based meals in our public hospitals and introducing plant-based Fridays in our schools. So you to see that's where this is all going. Now, he mentions here this website. And on this website, what they say here, this website there, is that there's a Good Foods Accelerator. And they say that, and by the way, I'm going to show you all the cities here to kind of how this whole thing connects. And I share this information because, entrepreneurs, business owners, everyday Americans that are, generally forward thinking, trying to think about where the future is going to be going to position themselves for it, whether it be in their business, their industry, whether it be in just their overall lifestyle. The more information they have, the better they're going to be able to kind of prepare for all this, because this is without doubt what is coming. So our diets are not just hurting our health, but also the ecosystem that supports human life. Food is among the largest driver of the global environmental change, contributing to climate action, biodiversity loss, freshwater use, interference with the global nitrogen and phosphorus cycles. And so it says this is what it's going to look like in 6 years from now, aligning our food procurement to a planetary health diet, ideally sourced from organic agriculture, supporting an overall increase in healthy plant-based food consumption in our cities, reducing food loss by 50%, and within 2 years of endorsing the accelerator, working with residents, businesses, public institutions, and other organizations to develop a joint strategy for implementing these measures, achieving these goals inclusively and equitably, and incorporating this strategy into our climate action plan. So these are the cities. You can look right here, and these are some of the locations. You have Seattle, you have Portland, San Francisco, Los Angeles, Phoenix, Austin, Houston, New Orleans, Miami, Washington, D.C., Philadelphia, New York City, Boston, Chicago, right? So you're seeing the trend. You're seeing where this is all going to be heading. And now when you're looking at these current fast food prices, you're seeing, $22 for, a burger and fries and a small Coke. You're seeing $3 and change for a small Coke here at McDonald's. You're looking at $6 hash browns and $18 Big Mac combos. What we're going to likely see here is we're going to see prices continue to skyrocket. Everyday Americans are going to be complaining nonstop about how expensive fast food is. And it is. It's extremely expensive. And then what are these fast food chains going to do? They're going to say, you know what? We need to start moving into automation. We can drive down our costs. We can help protect, the pockets of everyday Americans and help Americans save money. And, a lot of people say, okay, let's do this. We need to bring down these prices, whatever it takes. And then as that begins to happen, we need to start bringing out a better menu, something that's going to be a more cost-effective and affordable, which would be a planetary diet. That would be a lot, less expensive than meat. I mean, this is what they've already shown the numbers. It's like 30% less, to get a plant-based burger than to get or it's 30% of the price to get a plant-based burger than it is to get a meat-based burger. So if they're going to start to do this, what's going to ultimately happen? They're going to be able to bring back these prices at $3, $4, but it's going to be plant-based and it's going to be AI tech and robotics that are basically going to be running these entire fast food chains. It's going to be pretty shocking to witness how fast the world's going to be moving, but this is without doubt where we're going. This is 100% where we're going. And I think a lot of people aren't ready for it. But I do believe we are going to see food prices, quality food, over the next couple of years. If you enjoy, a nice filet, you enjoy, a nice Angus steak, or you have, your preferences, it's going to get a lot more expensive to have exactly the Angus burger. You're going to have a lot more costs that are going to be involved in having that meal. So prepare yourself, prepare your business for it, and put yourself in the best position, to forecast for what I believe is probably going to be inflation skyrocketing on quality foods over the next couple of years. So if you prepare yourself, you're going to be, in a really, really good spot. And if you ignore the chain of events and the facts of everything that's happening right now, you might not be happy down the road. What do you think about this entire situation? Drop below. Let's have a conversation about this. And if you'd like to fix your credit, we'd love to help you at my company, GreatCreditFast.com. That's GreatCreditFast.com. If you have late payments, medical bills, charge-offs, foreclosures, bankruptcies, repossessions, or any negative item on your credit report, go to GreatCreditFast.com. Now's the time to fix your credit, to put yourself in a position to get bank funding. If you're thinking about growing a business, buying a work truck, buying or investing in distressed real estate, put yourself in the best position possible to level yourself up financially so you can, withstand a lot of these changes. Catch you in the next video.